guys, so we're going to take a quick look at using the X method for a couple different ways of factoring. So first one let's take a look at is x squared plus 6x plus 8. And again, when we're going to use the x, we're going to take a times c, and with that in mind we need to understand that having x squared by itself is the same as saying 1 in front of that. So 1 times 8 is going to give us 8. And then we have the sum of 6. So we want to look at factors of 8. So 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. And we want to look at what are the two factors that are going to be multiplied together. So we multiply them to get 8, but when we add them, we're going to get 6. So 1 and 8 can't add together to get 6, but 2 and 4 can. So we're going to put a 2 here and a 4 here. And then we're going to take and write them as a fraction with our a value. And in this case, since it's 1, it's pretty easy to do. We're going to take the value for a, put it under each of these, and then we're going to work our way from the bottom up. And so 1x plus 2 is our first value, and then 1x plus 4 is our second factor, or second value. Or we could write them as x plus 2 times x plus 4. And then we could test it and check it by using our FOIL method. The next example we're going to look at is 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. So in this example now we've got some additional values for a and c. We're still going to use our x. So 2 times 5 gives us 10. So we want what are the factors of 10 that add up to equal 11. So 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. And we can see right away that it's going to be 1 and 10. But in this case we have our value for a is 2. So we want to make sure that we simplify these fractions. 1 over 2 is simplified, but this can be simplified to 5 over 1. And now we can go ahead and write them based on our bottoms up. So 2x plus 1 times x plus 5. And those will be our values then for our factors for this polynomial. So always working, just remember that the bottom one is our first term and our top one becomes our second term. In this case, once we've simplified the fraction, the bottom one becomes the first term and the top or your numerator becomes the second term. Let's take a look at one more example. In this case, we're going to have 6x squared minus 19x plus 15. Now we've gone through all the process, checking for the GCF, we've identified that's a trinomial, and now we want to use our x. So 15 times 6 is going to give us 90. And we want to know what are the factors of 90 that are going to equal 19. So 1 times 19, or I'm sorry, 1 times 90, 2 times 45, 3 times 30. We could have, we've got 5 and 18, 6 times 15, and 9 and 10, 9 times 10. So we look at this, since we have a negative in here for a value of b and a positive for c, we know that we've got to have two negatives that multiply together to give us a positive, or some type of situation where we're going to end up with a negative. So we're going to end up with negative 9 times negative 10, which is going to give us our negative 19. So multiplied together, they give us positive 90, but when we add them together, we get a negative 19. So we're still going to use our value for a, and we're going to simplify where we can. So this is going to become negative 3 over 2. And then we're going to end up over here. We can simplify to negative 5 over 3. So once we've got that all figured out, we can rewrite 2x minus 3 times 3x minus 5. And there's our factored form. So those are 3 different examples of how to use the x method in working with factoring.